Have you ever asked yourself why the deepest, purest love you give always seems to go to people who never return it? Why is it that the most compassionate and emotionally generous souls so often find themselves irresistibly drawn toward those who seem least capable of loving them back? It's a baffling, even painful paradox, one that leaves countless people confused, empty, and questioning their own worth. But hidden beneath this puzzling attraction lies a psychological truth so powerful and surprising that once you understand it, it could transform every relationship in your life. At the core of this strange magnetism lies a force Carl Jung called the shadow. Imagine your shadow as a locked vault inside you, filled with all the traits you've learned to reject: assertiveness, healthy self-interest, anger, even genuine self-respect. These aren't necessarily negative qualities. Often they're precisely the strengths you need most, yet you've unconsciously hidden them away, desperately trying to earn approval, acceptance, or love. Here's a startling truth. The people who captivate you often embody the very traits you've buried inside yourself. For the empath, the caring, selfless individual who constantly puts others first, these buried qualities might include strength, confidence, and assertiveness. Ironically, these exact traits are vividly visible in narcissists, though distorted in unhealthy extremes. Carl Jung famously warned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Think carefully about that statement. Could the emotional pain you've repeatedly felt in relationships actually be your own shadow, desperately trying to get your attention? Could the traits you've admired, or even resented in others, already exist quietly inside you, waiting to be reclaimed? By the end of this video, you'll fully understand this hidden truth. But be warned, once you recognize your shadow clearly reflected in your relationships, there's no going back. It won't merely explain your past, it has the power to redefine your entire future. Now pause and honestly ask yourself this. What mask have you worn to attract love? We all wear masks, carefully crafted images we present to others to win their approval, acceptance, or even affection. Carl Jung named these masks our personas, and they're never completely authentic. For empaths, this mask is usually kindness, generosity, and constant patience. It's being the person who never says no, who endlessly forgives even when forgiveness isn't deserved, and who continually sacrifices their own emotional well-being just to please someone else. But every mask inevitably casts a shadow. Behind an empath's carefully maintained mask of kindness and compassion lies hidden resentment, frustration, and an aching desire to finally receive the love and respect they generously offer others. These suppressed feelings rarely surface openly because expressing them risks destroying the empath's carefully cultivated image of perfect generosity. On the other side stands the narcissist, whose persona is boldly charismatic, magnetic, and self-confident. Yet beneath their attractive facade lurks insecurity, emptiness, and a profound fear of insignificance or rejection. This mask draws the empath with perfect precision. The empath mistakes the narcissist's exaggerated confidence for genuine strength, subconsciously hoping to reclaim their own hidden assertiveness through them. The narcissist, meanwhile, sees the empath merely as a mirror reflecting back the endless validation they crave. But here's a difficult truth you must face clearly right now. The mask you wear to attract love rarely earns you the love you genuinely crave. Instead, it traps you in relationships built on illusion, projection, and misunderstanding. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us sharply, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves, but deeper still, everything that attracts us to someone else may reflect precisely what we've hidden inside ourselves. Right now, reflect deeply. What shadows are being mirrored back to you in your relationships? What strengths or emotions have you been unwilling or afraid to face? But what's the deeper reason we lose ourselves in these relationships again and again? The shocking truth hidden in an ancient story you're about to hear might change how you see yourself forever. Have you ever become so good at sensing someone else's feelings that you've completely lost track of your own? This painful dynamic isn't new. It echoes through history and mythology, captured perfectly in the haunting Greek myth of Echo and Narcissus. Most people recognize Narcissus, the man who became utterly mesmerized by his own reflection. But far fewer remember Echo, the nymph doomed never to express her own voice, only to repeat the words of others. Echo loved Narcissus desperately, mirroring his every emotion, desire and thought, hoping that by reflecting him perfectly she'd finally earn his love. But Narcissus saw nothing but his own reflection. Gradually, Echo faded away entirely, her voice reduced to a faint whisper, losing herself completely in someone else's shadow. Have you experienced that painful invisibility yourself, endlessly mirroring someone else's desires, emotions and dreams, hoping they'd finally recognize and appreciate your sacrifice? Empaths are uniquely gifted at understanding and reflecting the emotional states of those they love. Initially, it feels like deep connection, even noble selflessness. But slowly, the empath's own voice fades, their identity dissolving into mere echoes of another's emotional demands. Here's a truth you must face clearly right now. Narcissists rarely see empaths as distinct individuals. They see them as mirrors whose purpose is to reflect and validate their distorted self-image. The empath mistakenly believes perfect reflection will lead to love, yet, paradoxically, the clearer their reflection, the more invisible and forgotten they become. Carl Jung profoundly stated, "Projections make the whole world a replica of one's unknown face." But let's simplify this powerful insight even further. Could the very qualities you deeply admire or even resent in others actually be your own suppressed self, desperately seeking recognition? Could the assertiveness or self-worth you've glimpsed in another actually be hidden within you, crying out to be reclaimed? Understand this clearly. If you don't break this pattern now, it won't just hurt you, it could permanently erase the person you truly are. But what comes next may challenge you even further, confronting the truths you've deliberately chosen not to see. The pain of facing reality might feel overwhelming, but compared to the lasting damage of denial, isn't the truth worth it? What truths about your relationships have you consciously chosen not to see? There's a haunting and lesser-known tale called Bluebeard, about a young woman who marries a mysterious nobleman. He gives her keys to every door in his magnificent mansion, except one, strictly forbidding her from ever opening it. Overwhelmed by curiosity and dread, she eventually disobeys, opening the forbidden door and discovering the grim evidence of Bluebeard's previous victims. Facing this horrifying truth ultimately becomes her path to freedom. Like Bluebeard's bride, many empaths sense deeply something is terribly wrong in their relationships, yet choose to ignore glaring red flags. Instead, they rationalize harmful behaviors, desperately hoping patience, love, and compassion alone will heal their partner. But here's a stark truth you can't afford to ignore. Denial doesn't diminish pain, it intensifies and prolongs it. Carl Jung put it simply, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Avoiding painful realities only allows them to grow stronger, quietly destroying your emotional health from within. The pain of confronting reality is temporary, but the damage caused by denial can last a lifetime. Right now, ask yourself honestly, which pain are you willing to live with? What forbidden door have you kept locked because you're afraid of what's behind it? Is it accepting your partner may never truly change? Admitting you've sacrificed too much of your authentic self in the name of love? Or finally acknowledging a heartbreaking truth that a relationship built on denial isn't love, but a damaging illusion? Turning the key and confronting these truths takes immense courage, vulnerability, and strength. Yet the moment you open that forbidden door, something extraordinary happens. You reclaim your voice, your identity, and your dignity. What lies beyond isn't just painful. It's liberating. It's not the end of hope, but the beginning of genuine empowerment. Unlocking that forbidden door is only the beginning. What you'll discover next is even more powerful, because reclaiming your hidden strengths might finally end this painful cycle for good. Have you ever realized that constantly avoiding conflict to maintain peace isn't kindness? It's actually declaring war against yourself. Consider the powerful Zen parable of the monk and the scorpion. A monk walking alongside a swift-flowing river sees a scorpion thrashing helplessly in the current. Driven by compassion, he reaches into the water to save it, only to receive a painful sting. Undeterred, he tries again, enduring repeated stings until a bystander finally asks, "Why keep helping something that keeps hurting you?" The monk calmly replies, "It is in the scorpion's nature to sting, and it is in mine to save." Yet finally realizing that true compassion must also protect himself, he cleverly uses a leaf to lift the scorpion to safety, drawing a clear boundary between kindness and self-preservation. This ancient parable holds a powerful truth for anyone caught in the painful empath-narcissist dynamic. Empaths repeatedly reach out, believing their kindness alone can heal or transform someone's harmful nature. But here's a stark, essential truth you must face clearly. Kindness without boundaries isn't compassion. It's self-betrayal disguised as virtue. True empathy never demands that you sacrifice your dignity, your emotional health, or your peace. Yet beneath your pain lies extraordinary potential. Carl Jung revealed a life-changing insight. Your shadow doesn't merely contain darkness, it also holds pure gold. Jungian analyst Robert Johnson expressed it brilliantly. The shadow isn't entirely dark, it's mostly pure gold. The assertiveness you've admired in others, the strength you thought you lacked. These traits already exist within you, locked away and silently waiting to be reclaimed. Reclaiming your shadow's gold, however, demands courage. It means confronting and embracing emotions and traits you've learned to suppress. It requires you to finally acknowledge your justified anger at mistreatment, assert your right to respect, and unapologetically voice your true needs. Facing these hidden aspects may feel uncomfortable, even painful initially. But within this discomfort lies your liberation. Once you accept and integrate these shadow qualities, you stop projecting your lost strength onto others. You no longer chase reflections of self-worth in distorted mirrors. Instead, you embody the very qualities you once sought externally. Here's something crucial you must clearly understand. Kindness alone will never heal cruelty, no matter how deeply you wish it could. True strength emerges from integrating all aspects of yourself. Your compassion alongside your courage, your gentleness alongside your fierce boundaries. This powerful inner transformation doesn't just heal you, it fundamentally changes who and what you're attracted to, freeing you from toxic cycles and guiding you toward relationships built on authentic mutual respect. Nobody else can rescue you from your shadow. You alone must face and embrace it. The path you're about to walk won't just change your relationships. It will profoundly transform the very essence of who you are. Here's the most critical truth you'll ever confront. The ultimate challenge isn't just the narcissist, it's also the kindness and compassion you've withheld from yourself. Carl Jung profoundly stated, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Your past relationships, no matter how deeply painful, don't define your future. Right now, in this exact moment, you possess the power to rewrite your story entirely. Imagine standing once more before the mirror. But this time your reflection is clear, undistorted by projections or masks. You finally see yourself as you truly are, a person brave enough to embrace every shadow and strength within, integrating them into a harmonious whole. This vision isn't about perfection, it's something far deeper, genuine self-acceptance and complete integration. Carl Jung called this journey individuation, the lifelong path toward becoming authentically and unapologetically yourself. Healing from shadow attraction doesn't happen passively. It demands conscious, courageous choices. It means setting firm boundaries, saying no without guilt, and finally believing that your emotional well-being deserves as much care as anyone else's. True compassion always includes yourself first. True empathy never asks you to silence your voice, ignore your boundaries, or diminish your needs. Consider this carefully. The painful relationships you've endured weren't meaningless. They served as powerful mirrors, guiding you towards self-awareness and wholeness. By courageously choosing clarity, you break free from endless cycles of projection. You're no longer echo repeating another's desires, nor Bluebeard's frightened bride afraid of hidden truths. Instead, you're stepping boldly into authenticity, empowerment, and genuine freedom. As you reclaim your shadow's gold, your relationships naturally reflect your newfound wholeness. You attract exactly what you embody: authenticity, genuine care, respect, and balanced love. Toxic patterns dissolve, replaced by relationships that truly honor your full self. You're no longer chasing distorted reflections, no longer endlessly trying to fix others. You're finally living from a place of profound self-respect, inner strength, and clarity. You've done something extraordinary. You've confronted truths most people avoid their entire lives. Now you've reclaimed your true identity. You haven't merely survived. You've transformed your pain into wisdom. Your story isn't defined by who you've loved, but by who you bravely choose to become. If this message resonated deeply with your experience, if you felt genuinely seen, heard, and understood, take action right now. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe because your voice truly matters. Together, we can empower others to reclaim their shadows, break free from toxic patterns, and rediscover their genuine strength. Your courage today won't just change your life, it can transform countless others, searching desperately for the strength to break their own cycles. Together, let's break these cycles, not just for ourselves, but for every person who has ever felt unseen, unheard, or unloved. Your journey toward wholeness doesn't end here, it's only just begun.